Show. Turn up your mind.
Tomorrow on January 6th, I'm very excited. This is our 1776 moment.
My body camera captured the violence of the crowd. I was dragged from the line of officers. I heard someone scream, "I got one!" They began to beat me with what felt like hard metal objects.
You can't allow it to just transfer power peacefully.
I heard chanting from some in the crowd, "Kill him with his own gun." I said as loud as I could manage, "I've got kids."
We have a sea of people. If we flood the Capitol building, go inside.
I ended up on my hands and knees and blind. He yelled at me, shouting, "You will die on your knees."
The people who breached the Capitol on January 6th are being abused. When will the witch hunt come to an end?
One woman in a pink MAGA shirt yelled, "You hear that, guys? This voted for Joe Biden." Then the crowd joined in screaming, "Boo!
You can't allow it to just transfer power.
The Capitol
peacefully are being abused. This is our 1776 moment.
The indifference is disgraceful.
That is Marcus Flowers. That is who is opposing Marjorie Taylor Greene. And they had a debate this weekend. And instead of answering the question honestly about anything to do with this insurrection, Marcus Flowers asked her very kindly, very gently, why do you care more about these insurrectionists, these criminals, than you do about the people in your district?
You spent your time in Congress these last couple of years providing aid and comfort to the January 6th insurrectionists. My question for you is, why do you care more about those criminals in jail than you do about the people of our district?
You want to know something? I care about stopping the two-tier justice system that is happening right now in America. I was a victim of the January 6th riot, and I've said it over and over again. I'm completely against what happened on January 6th.
What?
But I will not stand by and watch Merrick Garland turn the Department of Justice into a political weapon and the FBI sending it after parents that are addressing their school boards, people that walked in the Capitol and have been held in jail for nearly 2 years, while Antifa and BLM rioters go free and are never held accountable.
Okay, this is just amazing. This is the woman who told everyone who would listen to her that this was your 1776 moment, that you had to go into the Capitol, that you had to not let a peaceful, and she put it in quotes, transfer of power occur. Now all of a sudden she's the victim. She's the victim of the January 6th insurrection. And Antifa and BLM, they went scot-free. Listen, every single person who did any kind of violence in any city that was part of BLM protests went to jail. This manufacturing and rewriting of her own history is bizarre. They're all bizarre. This crop of candidates are strange.
Marcus, you're a father, and you are a representative of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is the party of child abuse.
What?
It's the party that represents grooming children and sexualizing them in school, teaching anti-white racism in the terms of CRT education, and genital mutilation of kids that can't even get a driver's license, can't get a tattoo, and cannot vote. How do you stand there and represent the Democrat Party as a father?
Oh, my God.
And do you believe in genital mutilation of children under the age of 18? And these puberty blockers that have severe health consequences?
Time for your
because
question.
I've introduced a bill to ban it and make it a felony to mutilate children's genitals. Do you stand by that?
Boy, that was a lot. And God bless you, Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you truly believe that I'm praying for you.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. But he asked her And she was asked in this debate again about this insurrection, and she said she is the victim here.
Our law enforcement officials, and every one of them that I've talked to, almost to a person, has said Marjorie Taylor Greene is not who they want representing them. So yes, this campaign is about Marcus Flowers, not MTG. Thank you.
Joshua, it's your turn.
I need a rebuttal to that. You cannot accuse me of insurrection. I was a victim of the January 6th riot just as much as any other member of Congress. That was the third day I had on the job. I had nothing to do with what happened there that day, and I will not have you accuse me of that. That is wrong of you to do. You're lying about me, and you will not defame my character in that manner.
Did Joe Biden win the election, Congresswoman Greene?
Joe Biden is the president of the United States,
Absolutely,
Marcus.
But you pushed a big lie that said he did not win the election.
There was election fraud.
You drove those people to the Capitol on January 6th with your lie.
We're going to move on. Josh Rowe, it's your turn to ask
and my
a question
husband has
to
proof
Marjorie
of it.
Taylor Greene.
We have FOIA evidence of proof of election fraud that came out.
Excuse me. We're ready to move on to the next question for you.
Okay, but he's not going to accuse me of a crime.
Would you like your question?
Would
you like your question?
Yes, ma'am, I would. Thank you.
Oh, my God. Isn't her husband, A, divorcing her? Not that I was going to bring it up. And B, if they had proof of election fraud, don't you think the 62 different court cases would have been the opportunity, the chance, the time to introduce election fraud evidence? There was no evidence because there was no election fraud that would have changed the result of any state's election. Period. End of story. She knows that. But this idea that this woman who incited all this violence, who was part of all this violence, who said, this is our 1776 moment. We can't let power transfer peacefully. We have to go inside the Capitol. I had nothing to do with it, and I will not allow you to impugn my reputation when you say that I had something to do with it. I had nothing to do with it. You literally went to the White House.
Just finished with our meetings here at the White House this afternoon. We had a great planning session for our January 6th objection. We aren't going to let this election be stolen by Joe Biden and the Democrats. President Trump won by a landslide. Call your House reps, call your senators from your states. We've got to make sure they're on board, and we already have a lot of people engaged.
A lot of people engaged. And then you had Steve Bannon sitting on his show going, all hell's going to break loose tomorrow. They all knew. The idea that they're the victims now is so them. It's so Orwellian. It's so Alice in Wonderland. You're through the looking glass with them. Black is white, up is down. I mean, did they all drop acid? What is the dealio with these people? It is just so unbelievable. And then she had the nerve, the temerity to turn to Marcus Flowers and say he wants to defund the police while she's selling defund the FBI merchandise on her Marjorie Taylor Greene website.
Congresswoman Greene,
we fund
defund the FBI shirts and hats that you're selling, making money off of?
Yes, the FBI that is targeting
We're going to cut their mic.
Yes, they're law enforcement too, MTG. I mean, it's so strange. It's so untenable. It's so undoable. You cannot live in this world. You cannot be pulled into their dark black land of holes and expect that you're going to get any sort of result for anything that's plaguing us. Nothing. In fact, you vote for them and you lose the little bit that we still have left. You lose the First Amendment. You lose the right to vote, you lose the right to choose, you lose your right to privacy without due process. They will make the choices. They will make all your choices. Medical choices, school choices, everything. Gun choices. You name it, they will choose. And you can go to hell.